guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This guy is 33 years old, and he's writing in asking me, as well as you guys, if he should break up with this gal he's only been seeing a month. You're going to see he's been dating her a month, but he's known her for 7 years. And the deal with her is that she's from an extreme form of Christianity. She's trying to convert him. 7 years ago, she tried to do it when they were quote-unquote friends. It didn't work then. Bunch of drama and turmoil. He hasn't seen her for a while. Now she's back in his life, and he's trying it again, and guess what? Same old thing. And obviously, I'm sure you can figure out my answer to his question here, but I'm going to go through a story anyway so you guys can hear the situation. And the main theme of this story, actually, in my opinion, is not, with regards to being with someone that you align with in terms of religion. Because frankly, if you're a religious guy, and you're with a gal, it's ideal that you're pretty eye-to-eye with the views. Otherwise, it's not going to work. More importantly, guys, the main theme of this whole video is people don't change. Don't waste your time trying to change people, okay? If she was a giant, you met a gal back in the day, and she was a giant pain in the butt back then, and your personalities clashed, guess what? Years later, she's no different. Your personalities are very likely to continue to clash. Don't waste your time on something that didn't work. As well as the fact, guys, also, is how when guys, there's a point, guys, where you have to look at your life and your history of relationships and dating, all that, and I'm sure you probably can notice a pattern here. And if early on you were conditioned to be in relationships where there's a bunch of drama and turmoil, toxic if you want to call it, well, a lot of people end up having one relationship after the other, but the same thing. And so a lot of guys claim they don't want drama in their relationships, turmoil, toxicity, all that crap. Then you look at their track record, and they keep dating gals that are like that. And so you have to look at yourself and say, do I really want that, or do I not want that? Because you could say you don't want drama in your life, turmoil and all that, but then you look at your track record and do some serious soul searching here. And this guy has a history of this. So guys out there, I don't want to hear complaints. I don't want drama in my life when you keep seeking out women that are all the same. There's something about you that attracts those types, and there's something about you that is drawn to those types. So you have to do some serious soul searching and get things aligned. Otherwise, there's drama, drama, drama. But anyhow, guys, there's a bunch of lessons in this story here that I think can be helpful to some of you guys. And hopefully at the end of this video here, we can help this dude out. So definitely pay attention and chime in when you want to in the comment section. He says, Dear SSM, long-time listener here. I'm writing to get your advice and the advice of the community. I have a new girlfriend who I've known for 7 years, but we've only been dating for 1 month. We will call her Debbie because she looks just like Joan Cusack's character in the Addams Family Values movie, as the gold-digging wife of Uncle Fester, who is known for offering her husbands to get their inheritance, but make her curvy in the right places. Well, I never was very attracted to Joan Cusack. I always thought she was a big mouth Sasquatch, but to each their own. I'm sure she looks a lot better than a big mouth Sasquatch to you. I first met Debbie while I was working at this call center, and her Jessica Rabbit body caught my eye. We immediately hit it off, but I made sure to keep it professional since I had a no dating coworkers policy that I live by. Well, very smart. Don't jeopardize your job or income or career for some chick. We would talk often at the job, and I even got her phone number. Well, what'd you just say you don't mix things up with work and dating? You getting her phone number? No, bad idea. It was really hard staying as just friends because this girl used to cook meals, bring them in the office, and feed me, as we had the trad wife vibes as an adult star body. At the time, I was 26 and she was 22. During this stage of my life, I was recently single from a very toxic 3-year relationship, maybe a story for another time, and she was out of a year relationship to an older guy in his 30s that she was engaged to. So you're both sharing war stories and bad relationships and all that. Well, that's great and all, but not great when you do it with somebody you work with. I can't stress that enough. And by the way, you just said you were in a 3-year-long toxic relationship. That tells me a lot about you, my friend, that you spent 3 years in obviously a very bad situation but didn't walk away. And that is going to set the stage for a lot of other things. I remember that she brought up Jesus a lot. I made it clear she's a religious gal, and during this time of my life, I was going through a religious crisis and didn't really believe. She tried very hard to convert me, and we began to have fights because she was a young earth creationist who believed that God made every living thing in current form, every letter in the Bible was God's word, non-believers will suffer a lot in life, and evolution was the devil. Oh boy. My friend, didn't somebody explain to you never get into debates or arguments or whatever about, or talk about religion, politics, and money, how much money you make, how much money you have? It's not a good idea. Big surprise that there was drama in that. I think you're just attracted to drama because you're in a 3-year relationship, toxic relationship, drama, turmoil, and here you are attracted to a girl where you have clear differences, and here's the drama. I was the opposite, which I understood and accept evolution. Didn't believe that the Bible was God's exact word, and I was borderline atheist. Well, you were like a lot of people, just, you had maybe your upbringing, but you just were confused, or not want to say confused, but just you questioned a lot of things. A lot of things didn't quite add up, and guess what? That usually is for most people. I was able to prove her wrong in the evolution part, and I never name-called her and just provided her with the facts, and it caused her to cry, get upset with me, and got distant for a couple of months, where we rarely talked and she stopped feeding me. So when do you work? He said this is a coworker of yours. When are you actually doing your fucking job for debating the Bible and creation and evolution and all this other stuff? You're attracted to drama and turmoil, man, and that's a problem. I ended up quitting the job due to job security being up in the air for being in the process of attempting to be sold. Debbie asked me out, and since we didn't work anymore, I thought, why not? Smack! So you're gonna want to date a gal who you are complete opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of say Christianity, if you will. Guys, if there's one thing you need to have some kind of pretty aligned with, it's religion. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. And already, you're going to date this girl you're already having this drama and turmoil with. This is my point. You're attracted to drama and turmoil, okay? And, I mean, hey, if that's what you like, then you shouldn't be writing in asking me what to do. But if you don't want to have drama and turmoil in your life, then you need to avoid the drama and turmoil. The problem is, I think you were conditioned at a period in your life that really set the foundation. You don't know any better. A lot of people claim, I don't want drama. Oh, really? Well, look at all the people you've been dating or been involved with. Come on here. There's something about you that just attracts those type of people or is drawn to those type of people, and you need to be made aware of this. But anyhow, let's see if I'm wrong here. We ate at this restaurant just for her to verbally... We went out and ate at this restaurant just for her to verbally reject me unless what she saw were my flaws, and that even though she liked me, she couldn't date a non-believer, and also felt her being out of the engagement for a year was too soon as another reason. So she asked you out so she could reject you on her terms. Shocker. And you fell for it. I told her her tantrums when we had that debate kind of turned me off, and I lost interest. I then paid my half of the meal and walked out. Oh, good for you. You did something right, finally. And you should have walked away from her forever. And yet, well, we'll see how the story goes. Debbie tried to message me, but I started dating other women and lost touch. Throughout the years, she tried to set up a get-together, but things always came up, and I wasn't able to. Things didn't always come up. You just didn't want to see her. If you wanted to see her, you would have made it happen. And obviously, there was a reason you didn't want to see her. And that was the right move. At my last job, I was working remote and had tech difficulties and ended up coming into the office and heard a recognizable voice. And I saw Debbie. I was then 32 and she was 28. Okay, so about 6 years has passed. She put on some weight, but the majority of it went to her already big curves. Well, of course she put on some weight. That's how it works. And the weight may have gone to the right curves right now, but I assure you in 10 to 15 years, instead of the right curves, it's going to be just one big blob. Big ass belly, big ass, hanging boobs, all that. Yeah, just you watch. During this part of my life, I regained my testimony in Christ. But I'm not an orthodox believer, in which I still accept science, believe God has had some authorship over evolution, the earth is still old, and that the Bible has some divine messages in it, but a lot of it is more historical, with the limitations of ancient man showing. Okay. You are entitled to believe what you want to believe, as is she, or anybody else, as long as their views isn't harming anybody, physically, emotionally, psychologically. I'll make that clear. And so it makes sense for you to, if you're a relationship guy, be with a gal who you're pretty aligned with in those views. Otherwise, you're inviting drama in your life, unless that's what you want. Well, when we talked, she lit up like she used to when she would feed me, and she was excited to hear that I believe now. Debbie asked me my new number. It was what my new number was because she did try to message me a few times, but eventually found out someone else now has my number. I gave her my number, and she did her best to set something up. Smack! Why'd you give her your number? Because you love the drama. Do you really think that she's any different now, 6 years later, than she was back then? Well, you're about to see. But we now work together again, and I was trying to make things just as catching up a bit, but stuff kept coming up. Are you saying you now work together again, or it's the same company, it turns out, that you discovered this? You don't get involved with your coworkers. Well, I ended up leaving that job when it was apparent that career opportunities was becoming non-existent, and that a lot of higher positions were being outsourced to other countries. Okay, so now you left another job. We no longer work together, and now with me having my schedule completely freed open, we were able to meet up outside of work again. I think what's going on is that she's been stalking you all these years, and she then got a job where you worked to hope to meet you again. That's what I think what happened. When we got together, she was very flirty and opened up that she had been crushing on me for years. Duh. Obviously she has, constantly want to meet up with you and chasing after you, and I think got that job to meet you again. I decided to pay for both of our food. Don't worry, it was a family-friendly place, and it was less than $30 for both of us. We walked and talked, and I made a move, and I finally got to make out with her. Smack, dude. Aren't there any other women? You really think it's going to be any better than before? Admit it. You love drama. Well, it's what you're going to get. After the date, Debbie asked me, since she liked me for a while, now would I be open to being exclusive? Looking at from the time we had the awkward encounter till now, and most of my online dating were just bored women secretly in relationships wanting to hook up, and that the countless hookups had me tired, I thought, why not? What's there to lose? Smack! So again, all these years you've been chasing women that just want to hook up, or they're with other guys, or secretly married in relationships. You're drawn to fucking drama. You're drawn to these gals that can't be anything meaningful. I think those years of the toxic relationship really rewired you to think that's just what it is, and you don't know any better. Now you're going to get involved with a girl who brings you more fucking drama. I don't feel bad for you. So I agreed. She was very happy and kept trying to see me every day and is very clingy. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's a lot of fun, having a very clingy girlfriend that won't leave me the fuck alone. Some guys out there are like, well, that's great, SSM. She'll do whatever I want. It has a price. Other than jumping into a relationship, you're probably wondering what exactly is the problem. No, I know the problem. You don't know the problem. Well, she has at times made offhand remarks, such as I had not regained my testimony that she would never date me. She also opened up about the ex-fiancé that she had. To me, he sounded like a cool guy, but she ended things because he was a Christian in name only, according to her. Didn't really go to church, and didn't like going to her church. She kept trying to push him to go, and finally made an ultimatum, which he initially agreed, but began not going again, so she dumped him. What I just tell you earlier about religion, you better be pretty aligned to these things. But obviously, it's her way or the highway. It's my religion, that religion's perspective, point of view, and if you're not going to agree to it and go to church with me and think and have views just like me and the people I'm with, then F you and all these manipulation tactics and drama and turmoil. See? She's no different than she was 6 years ago, genius. I decided to go check out Debbie's church recently to see what may have had the guy hating it, and quickly found my answer. Debbie's church is one of those small churches who have an a-hole pastor who dreams of being a mega-church pastor, but doesn't have the charisma to obtain that level of popularity. Yeah, these are usually very small churches, like trailers and shit, or like little tiny, in these off-the-beaten-path old malls that they got a little room for cheap rent, and a few members, and this. I totally picture. I know what you're talking about here. This guy puts down others who don't share the same exact views as him, and is one of those aggressive pastors who says, if you don't like his message, then get the hell out, and bully those in his church who were ex-Catholics. The guy also thinks that California wildfires was God's way of punishing those heathens and gets off on the idea of people losing everything, including their lives, because they had it coming, according to his beliefs. Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. But your girlfriend, who you shouldn't be your girlfriend, is obviously, like, the people there are weak, easily manipulated, all that, and, I go on. A day afterwards, I asked her if her sermons was like that every Sunday, and she says, oh, that was a light day, and that he's usually more extreme. More extreme? She asked why, and I told her that my views of God do not align with his, and I do not feel comfortable attending if he's going to put others down, others' face, or other denominations. It isn't cool or welcoming, and I don't feel God there, and I will leave if that guy starts bashing others again. So, my friend, do you think it's going to work with this girl? Debbie almost cried, but then tried to defend him, saying that's just his sense of humor. No, it's not. I'm willing to bet you this type of guy probably ends up having affairs with his parishioners, as if he hasn't already. I told her I was okay attending if they prayed for others, read from the good book, spread messages of love, but I can't stand back and just listen to a pastor spread hate, make fun of others, and come off mean-spirited. Exactly. I'm not hearing any of the true message of Jesus coming out in his sermon here. I'm hearing pure fucking hate. Debbie asked me if I was planning on stopping attending altogether, and I told her, I don't know yet, but might if her pastor kept it up. Well, guess what? He's not going to change, dude. I told her I won't make a scene to respect her beliefs, but I'm drawing a boundary and won't be somewhere if I don't feel the Spirit of God there. Debbie promised me it isn't going to be that bad, and she's glad I'm willing to give it another shot because she was very close of breaking up with me. There you go. Manipulation tactic. I was pretty close to breaking up with you, so I'm glad you decided to go back to that asshole's church. And in her mind, I'm so amazing and curvy, looking like Joan Cusack or Jessica Rabbit or whatever the fuck he said, that I can get this guy to cave and do what I want. Well, she's 28. She's still in the prime years, but guess what? That prime is coming to an end soon. She's already porking up. She then says that she likes that I'm building my faith and also have my own church to attend. However, despite her telling me she's grown up from her last relationship and isn't going to make rash decisions like that, it feels like it. Dude, she hasn't changed. So I asked my mom, who used to get upset at me for ending things because of red flags, and I found in past partners. My mother wants grandchildren now that I'm 33. I was surprised to find my own mom, who usually sided with the women, actually cautioning me to take it slower and eventually find the right time to ask Debbie if me attending my own church only and not attending hers would be a deal breaker, and if it is, dump her instead. Well, in that particular case, your mom is right. However, smack to go to your mom to ask advice about women. You don't go to your mom or other women to ask about women. Occasionally they'll throw a few nuggets of wisdom your way. But you said yourself your mom wants grandkids, so she's biased. Another woman you broke up with, who you saw red flags, thank God, she had issue with that because she wants grandkids. Never go to your mom for advice about fucking women or relationships ever again, dude. My mom told me lots of her friends, the moment they got converted to an extreme Christian religion like that, Christian church like that was born again, had all their marriages end. And if Debbie was brainwashed into a cult like that, sadly there isn't much changing her, and I'd be better off cutting my losses early. Again, your mom is right about this. I'll give her that. So I'm coming to you in the community today to ask, should I ask Debbie that now or wait until March or April to ask that? Or what's happening in March or April? Easter? I'm worried if it's too soon, I would end things prematurely due to misunderstandings, but also if I waited longer, maybe I could get Debbie more invested where I have more leveraging power. So what should I do? What should you do? Well, you asked, and I'm sure the vast majority of guys in the audience are going to respond exactly the same way as me. Dump her. That's what you need to do. This is not going to work. It didn't work 6 years ago. You obviously been avoiding her. You said she's been trying to reach out and set up little dates and get-togethers because she likes you. And you've avoided her for a reason. Why do you think it's any better now? She's no different. It was the same crap about her little cult back then. It's the same fucking thing now. You think you're going to change her and get or whatever, or save her? It's not going to happen, dude. Okay, you're wasting your time. But and so the main theme of this whole story is, guys, if you are a relationship guy and you're religious, or it's a fairly important part of your life, okay, then get with a girl that aligns, ideally the same particular religion denomination and pretty darn close to the same views. You are not aligned in the views at all, and it's not going to work. And clearly, it's her way or the highway. And you stay with her, I guarantee it's going to be, well, no more pussy until you start going to the church of the crazy asshole pastor, and no more of this if you don't do this. You think I'm wrong? Then fine, try. Watch what happens here. It's not going to work with her. Cut your losses and move on. Okay? So guys, remember that about the whole religion thing. It's just not going to work. Now to the bigger issue. You, in my opinion, have been wired a long time ago, probably before you had your 3-year toxic relationship in your early and mid-20s, that you're obviously used to this shit. If you spent 3 years in a bad toxic relationship, as you described at the beginning of the story, then obviously you got some problems. Obviously you got some weakness that you lasted that long with this chick, putting up with a bunch of bullshit. And I think you've been hardwired either then or earlier in life. I didn't hear anything about you mentioning about your father. So this leads me to believe maybe he passed away, which I'm sorry if that happened, or mom and him divorced early on. And so you're used to seeing turmoil in your family, this possibility, and that's wired you to seek out relationships where there's turmoil because that's normal for you. And don't feel too bad because you're not alone. A lot of guys do that, and women. So I need you, my friend, to do some digging. Be alone for a while and say, why do I keep getting in relationships or seeking out women where there's going to be a bunch of fucking turmoil? All these years meeting gals on dating apps or whatever that are married or had boyfriends. You said I'm guessing you didn't know that at the time until after you hooked up and they told you. Or dating gals that are just want hookups and just drama. You look at your pattern here in your track record, you can see this pattern here. So you need to be alone for a while, do some soul searching. Now, if you like the drama, like the turmoil, okay, it's your life, knock yourself out. But if you say you don't, and you don't want that bullshit in your life, then you need to do some digging, because there's something about you that not only has you drawn to women like this, but also attracts those types. Now, don't get me wrong, all women, and I do mean all, like drama. And there can be drama, because they're driven by their emotions, by and large. Doesn't mean they're all going to be to the extreme of various cases I cover in these stories. And so... But there's the difference between the real nut jobs and ones that just, they like to hear the drama and they can get some laughs out of it, but they're, by and large, pretty level-headed or cool. And there are good gals out there. You need to figure out what you want, what the thing is about you is drawing to the bad ones, so you can help fix things in the future. Otherwise, drama, drama, drama. So, if you want drama, you want turmoil and all that, then keep seeing this chick. See where it goes. I guarantee it ain't going to be in a good place. It'll be exactly the way I describe it. Or, if you don't want that shit in your life, want to make a change now, you're 33, you got your whole life ahead of you, then do some soul searching and change your approach. That's what I think. So, man, do what you want, but at the end of the day, I think I'm going to be right if you stay with her. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Do you think he should stay with her? Or head for the hills and work on himself? I'm going to guess most of you are going to say what I think you're going to say, but regardless, I want to hear all opinions. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.